5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your life.
All right, we're live. Welcome to this Feet on the Street, Tuesday, October 21st. We have a guest here coming momentarily. Right now they're enjoying Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and more. I'm sure burger and fries. She does the fresh cut hamburger patties and or fresh pressed hamburger patties, I guess I'm trying to say, and fresh cut fries. And the handmade milkshakes from the hand scooped ice cream. It's pretty amazing treat. So you get a chance to come by and see Lynn at Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More, 1232 Commerce. And speaking of Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More, there's an event coming up that is a fundraiser to support a very important dinner she puts on every year. The first year was actually held right here, but it outgrew that in the first year. And so now it's held over at Grounds for Opportunity in partnership with CAP. And the fundraising event I was referring to helps support that. And the dinner is December 14th, over again at Grounds for Opportunity. But the event I was referring to again is called the Fall Festival. There's free admission to the event. It's Tuesday, October 28th from 5:30 to 7:30. I don't think you can probably see that, so I'll just turn that back around. Too much glare. There is a costume contest. It's just $5 to enter. By the way, 50% of the money from that costume contest will go into paying prizes to the winners, and the other 50% will be for the fundraiser. There will be live music by Fred Carter. He was on here, gosh, probably about a month ago. Really talented guy, so he'll be there performing live.
Actually, it's been exactly a month.
Has it been exactly a month? Very good. Yeah, he'll be performing there. That's actually where I initially met him and talked to him about coming on and doing this. So I really appreciate him agreeing to do that. Again, 5:30 to 7:30 a week from tonight, and actually Feet on the Street will be live at that event next week. So yeah, that's where the event will be next week. There'll be an appearance by DOT, which is the RelyLocal.com mascot. There are a number of businesses and organizations that have made this possible. Bumblebee Towing, the Association of Rapscallion and River Rats, which is a group of local pirates. They'll be there. Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More, as I mentioned. CAP, Advantage Screen Printing, Cookin', Wave, and KLOG, local radio stations. They're actually going to be promoting this event for us. So we appreciate that. 50 local copies today. Right Way RV, which I thought Carrie Jo was here, but she isn't, but Right Way RV. We mentioned Fred Carter for Hire, local music talent, Richardson Photography, and last but not least, Northwest Natural Stone, the host of this event. There also may be an appearance, I'm told, by local talent, or what you want to call him, Jack Sparrow. He really looks like the Jack Sparrow from the movies. I'm sure you've seen him around town at local events. And he has every intention of being there, so we do hope that will be the case. Northwest Natural Stone is located at 660 California Way, right here in Longview. Some of you know that as the road that is the entrance into like Walmart and Home Depot from California Way. It's on the corner of 7th and California Way. Where you can find more information about this event. You can go to Facebook, type in Fall Festival, and that should come up. You can also go to RelyLocal.com, and if you're in an area other than the Kelso Longview area, you'll want to select Kelso or Longview, it doesn't really matter. Washington is your state and city, and then you'll find the information for this event on RelyLocal.com for our area. I feel like that pretty much covers the event. There will be vendor booths there, raffle prizes, games, refreshments, and fun for the whole family. So it is a family-friendly event. So I want to encourage you to bring the kids out. And there'll actually even be a prize level for kids' costumes. So I think we're going to do, as I understand it, best kids' costume, best adult male and adult female costumes. And so that's what the prize categories will be. And what's kind of unique actually about the costume contest is you'll be voting as a contestant. You'll also be voting for who's going to win. But there will be an exception on your voter ballot, and it'll be yourself. You won't be able to vote yourself, as we don't want 100 votes with just one vote for themselves. So you will be excluded from voting for yourself, but you can vote for anybody else. So that pretty much covers the event. Oh, I'm also. Oh, okay, good. And we have our guest coming, so I don't have to stall anymore. I was like, okay, what else could I fill this time with? So what was your name?
David Steenson.
David Steenson. Okay,
yes.
Was it
Steenson.
Steenson. Yes. I wanted to add a D in there for some reason. So
yes,
David Steenson. Okay, very good. And as with most weeks, I don't even know what we're going to be talking about, but I'm sure it'll be great. And so
Okay.
let's kind of start with there. So
Awesome.
it looks like you're a candidate, and
Yes.
actually I knew the name sounded familiar, so that's why. Let's talk about the position you're running for, and then get
Okay.
some other good
Well, we're
stuff.
running for the 19th legislative district here in
Okay.
Washington. It covers Kelso, Longview, Cowles County, Waukesha,
Wow.
Pacific, Grays Harbor, and part of Lewis County.
So,
So 5 counties.
should you be elected, you'll be driving all over the place. won't
Already
you?
have.
I'm sure you have.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
running for, absolutely.
Great.
And so, I'm pretty sure, I think I know who the incumbent's name is, but you're not the incumbent, right? You're running
No,
for
I'm
next,
running against Dean Tackle.
Team Taco. Okay.
Been in politics for over 30 years.
Wow.
He's
Okay.
been in since 2009 years there.
Okay.
But he's been in politics for a long time.
Okay. You're new to politics.
I am new
Well, that's
for
a
running.
plus,
Yes.
absolutely.
I'm a citizen politician.
Okay. Very good. Very
Go in
good.
here, get things turned around, do the best we can, and then step out, let somebody else come in.
Very good. Very good.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I think there's certainly some value in having some change in our political
Yes.
system for sure. Get some fresh ideas, new ideas, and we can probably get to some of those ideas here in a moment. Where do you live?
Well, we live here in Longview,
Okay, very good.
out there on Willow Grove District.
Okay, nice area.
And my wife and I just returned back here a year ago. My wife was in the military, so
Okay,
this is her hometown. And I've been in Washington on and off since 1981.
wow, very good, very
I was up
good.
stationed in Fort Lewis,
Okay, also not too far away then.
not too far away.
Okay, very good. And so most people have that why. I mean, why? Why are you running? What's the change you want to bring?
Well, as you travel around the counties, you're going to see lots of businesses that have been closed. Sure. Our businesses are being stifled by regulation, higher taxes. We have one bulk November 15th, the national health care rate is going to go again up through the roof. And Obama national education program that basically is setting the tone for socialism, communist type of mechanism to teach children that the government is here to support you from birth to death, cradle to grave. And we just don't need that. We need to get back to the community with their school systems, parents taking control of the schools, not the federal government.
That's gosh, I guess this would be more the question or not the agree. There's definitely some things I'm like, yeah, anyway. So we're just looking at that. But so yeah, I think education is obviously important. As you said, regulation is really important. And you said taxes, and one thing I think that's interesting, we see more and more is these tax breaks for very large companies to come into an area when maybe I'm phrasing this as an answer to a degree too, but it's you look at any area, and from what I've seen, it seems like most of the jobs are from the little guys, but yet they're maybe what's your thoughts on that? I guess
Our GDP is made up primarily of small business, entrepreneurs. Big corporations, yes, they do the job. They also afford to be able to pay better in most cases. We have our unions that are involved with the labor force. There are good unions, there's bad unions. I support good unions. Unions are good. Unions in marriage, that's a good union.
sure.
Unions that help promote jobs in our communities is a good union. There used to be a time, and you see very little of it now, where unions supported job programs, on-the-job training, skilled trades. Those things are very few and far between.
Sure.
The more the unions get involved with politics, the less the membership goes. The more unions are involved with their community, the higher the membership goes. Excuse me. But unions in a whole are a good thing. We need to have them in a lot of our communities as long as they're helping and are active in the communities by building jobs, having apprenticeship programs in place, and job corps. But when they're bad, they're bad.
Sure. Yeah. I've heard the good and bad. I mean,
Yes.
I think I don't have a dog in that fight, so to speak. And my dad did work for union for years, but he felt he had a strong opinions on it from the pro and the con. I guess that's maybe. This isn't about me, so I'll just
No, you're fine. No.
Yeah. So
A lot of things we've got is government has gotten so much into our bedrooms,
yeah.
from our bedrooms to our light bulbs to our bathrooms,
True.
toilet paper and the type of toilet we're allowed to use.
It's very true.
You know, everything is regulated. There's not a thing that you do that has not have a regulation for it. Whether it be the spoon you use, the knife, the fork, the shoes you wear, the car you drive, or even the chair in which you're
It's
sitting
very
in.
true.
So even look at your collars on your t-shirt. There's some regulation that's controlling that. Or your Fruit of the Loom underwear. So it's way too much. It's gotten way out of hand.
And I think if we had one of our forefathers sitting here right now, and we asked them, how much regulation do you think the government should impose on the people? I think it'd be a pretty short answer. I think it'd be as
it'd
little
be
as
very
possible.
little as possible.
You know,
Exactly.
that's what they had to do.
And that's one of the things as far as running in the libertarian party.
Oh, I wonder if you're a
I'm a
libertarian.
libertarian
I'm right there with you. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but anyway.
Libertarian, conservative,
Okay.
constitutional. So we have to,
Constitutional. I go between the two. Constitutional.
well, we have to have our constitution. Our constitution is our foundation.
Absolutely.
And without adhering to what the framers of our country put in place for us. And keep in mind, they experienced tyranny.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
lived it at some of the harshest times in the world. I mean, you got pioneers coming out here living in the woods, or they're dealing with
Oh, absolutely.
natives
Could you
and
imagine? I mean,
it's
that had to
just
be like
no electricity, no
Yeah.
water. I mean, what they went through, and then have a country that's 3,000 miles away dictate to them
Yeah.
what they're going to do and how they're going to do it and what tax they're going to pay.
Yeah.
You can nowadays you look at what they had to go through, and you can kind of relate. Sure, and you can't do anything out here without having some type of regulation that dictates what you're going to do day in, day out. A normal person couldn't go a day without 3 violations of the law. And that's how much regulations we have out here.
Yeah.
And the problem is we have bureaucrats writing rules, and government is enforcing, saying those are laws.
Yeah.
And that needs to stop. And plus, we have a lot of criminals that shouldn't be criminals. They didn't commit violent crimes.
Exactly.
They're in there because they decide to smoke some marijuana.
Exactly.
We're tying up our court systems with frivolous type cases.
Why are we protecting people from themselves?
Yes.
I mean, for example, I always had a problem with seatbelt law. Who are you protecting besides the person in the seatbelt? You can maybe make some argument for youths because they're not under the age, maybe, but really,
It's
yeah.
about controlling what you do in
Yeah.
your vehicle.
And driving 100 miles an hour down the street, I get that law. You could kill some people. There's a lot of people walking down here.
Well, back in the 80s, there was a study done in Europe where the Europeans said there was just as many deaths with a seatbelt on as there was without. So it's a superfluous law there, and it's wasting our police officers' time. It's kind of like cell phone and texting. You can have all the rules about not talking on your cell phone or texting, but as you go down the highway, you look in every car that passes you.
Oh, yeah.
They're sitting there just texting away,
Yeah.
driving with their needs.
Yeah.
So, and when you have the police force, state troopers are doing the same thing. How are you going to enforce a law? Shame on you. You do it when you have 3 fingers pointing right back at you.
Well, my question is, why do we need to create a law for something like, let's say, like texting and driving, when there's already distracted driving laws? I mean, we don't need to get a law that says you can't drive with your knees to eat a big Whopper. I mean, there's already rules that says distracted driving. So you determine, hey, one person can talk on their phone and drive.
More regulation.
Can't.
Or control. How do we control you? It's like kids have to be at school at 7:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why can't it be 7:30? Why does it have to be 7:20?
Exactly.
Why at 8 o'clock they have to be in bed or something? We're taught to establish rules in our homes, but the people that establish rules for kids in your home are taking it way beyond the scope of their authority, and they're taking your authority. You are given authority. You know, you're on your God-given rights as a human being to make choices based on your needs and your listeners' needs. And when we have that authority, we make decisions based whether I'm right or wrong. So I know if you walked up to me and slapped me upside the head, that's going to make me be angry. But what was the reason? Was it to teach me a lesson? Was it, instruct me? Maybe you've told me 14 times, and that's the way to get across. Okay, but that's on the light side of it. But we have families that are being destroyed by the court systems, by sticking people in jail on frivolous drug charges. They may have had possession. They may have used, but they didn't hurt anybody.
Exactly.
They're hurting themselves.
Exactly.
And we're spending thousands and thousands, millions of dollars every year to incarcerate people that shouldn't be there.
I liked what another libertarian said about this once, Ron Paul. And he said, and he's a doctor, and he talked about how there's so many things you can go and buy over the counter that are illegal that are far more dangerous than stuff that's illegal to buy on the street. People will buy, over-the-counter pain medications, let's say. If they get addicted to those, even though they're not like this prescription ones, but still they get addicted to that. That's far worse than, let's say, plants. Natural. Yeah, they can go to jail.
Well, it's kind of like
plants.
You can drink a beer, and when you leave the house, your work, you stop at a bar, you can drink a beer,
sure,
but they have you contained. So now you may drink 1, 2, maybe 3 before when you go to leave, you're going to be kind of intoxicated. What's wrong with popping the top on your way home from work? You're going to stop at the bar to cut the edge of the day. So why not just pop the top on your way home? What's wrong with that?
It's funny.
Not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, I've always wanted. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I've always said, okay, so what is the issue with you? You're still for example, because the way I look at it is, if they want to say, well, it's because you're holding a liquid beverage, you're allowed to drink coffee, you're allowed to drink soda pop. So it's not about that. So as long as you're under the legal limit, what's the issue? So
there shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
And that comes. It's just ridiculous.
I agree.
And those are just some light issues. We have bigger issues. We have no, we shouldn't. Nobody's talking about not having people go there. Just stop them from coming for our country until we get a grip on this handle. Sure, as far as a whole. And the same thing with our illegal immigration problem we have on our borders. You have Governor Perry that has put the National Guard on the border, but then the National Guard have their hands tied to a certain degree. As I travel across the United States, whether it be New Mexico, Arizona, California, we have border patrols that are stationed 40, 50 miles away from the border.
That makes sense.
So,
sure.
By the time they're already in our country,
Wow.
before anything's actually being done, and a lot of the border patrol tell you, they're catching people, but how many of them are getting by?
Oh, of course. If you're 50 miles away, I think no matter how good you are, they're catch up.
That's right.
They catch you.
So, as
most of the deer hunters don't go 50 miles away from target. They usually get
they get really close. So we have a border issue, an immigration issue. Yes, people might say, well, I'm against immigration. No, I'm against illegal immigration.
Exactly.
We have laws that are on the books. The problem with our laws is people don't want to follow it. The bureaucrats and the politicians don't want to follow those laws. And they're there for a reason. Immigration laws were set by the people. They're agreed on by the people, the citizens of the United States. And so we need to adhere to that. And we need to give kudos to Governor Perry and the Border Patrol, people that are fighting to keep possible enemies from getting across the border. We had one congressman that has information that 4 Turkish Al-Qaeda members have already crossed into our country, and that's just 4 they know about. Did they pick them up or capture them or deport them? I don't know that story yet, but I have heard that they are now in our country. So we have big issues going on in our country, and we need to focus on our communities. So if our communities take control of the communities, whether it be school systems, the laws that are issued here in our town, that's where we need to start.
Now, how do you feel about, I guess there's different words for it, but privatization of the school system?
Well, is it a privatization of companies that have an interest in our town? Are they from our town? Will the citizens have direct involvement with that? So if that was the case, if every citizen that had a child going to school has a say in the outcome, like board members, then hey, go for it. But if it's going to be a corporation, because the state's going to control that corp based on the federal government stipulation, then my answer to that would be no. The ideal is to get it back to where the communities control the schools, like it used to be many years ago. The state has guidelines, but it's up to the community. Schools and the teachings were based on the needs of the communities, not the needs of the federal government, not the needs of the state. Because here in our area, lumber, logging, that's our mainstream. The coal industry, again, that's things that pertain to our region. You want to get into business downtown? Let Seattle worry about Seattle schools.
Exactly.
Not have Seattle worry about what we do down here in Longview, Kelso.
Makes sense.
It's not dirty.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And the same thing goes with funding projects. I've seen throughout time we're funding projects in areas that citizens of our community will never use, like a tunnel / seawall in Seattle.
We send all our money. So we have to beg for it to get it back.
Exactly, like building a football or baseball stadium. Our citizens are being taxed for those projects when some of us may not ever attend a baseball game or football game up there. We'll go to Portland. So why should we be funding those projects? Should we?
Makes sense to me. Yeah, and a lot of these things, I don't know how you vote on every tax, but what about getting it back to the citizens? Maybe the citizens have more say.
Citizens need more say. I think we've already collected enough tax.
Yeah.
I think what we need to be looking at is if the government and the state really care about their citizens, we'd be cutting tax. We'd be cutting tax on the citizens, on businesses, and we'd be encouraging growth through our Better Business Bureau and having programs that encourage entrepreneurship. You take a small business like this, awesome location, awesome. And I want to thank Lynn and Candace for inviting me here this evening. And this is awesome. This is a little shop.
And
It takes care of it and it contributes to our community. But you go down the street, you're going to find empty buildings.
it's true.
And for the startup cost, it's just phenomenal.
It really is.
And then the regulations and the permits you gotta have, and the inspections. I mean, by the time somebody had to go through it, they'd be pulling their hair out. They'd be throwing the towel saying, that's it. Can't do it. And we need to have other businesses in our area form organizations or form an organization where they help contribute to small business, the growth of small business. So those are good ideas. Whoop, this is my 2-year-old just stepped in here.
Hey there.
This is Aurora. Okay, thank you.
Well, it's interesting to talk about regulation too. Just one example, I saw one day is I know someone that owns a drive-up coffee shop, drive-up only, no clients in there. And they were required, and I have a mother-in-law that is in a wheelchair and a sister that's in a wheelchair. So if anyone I think would, see the other side of it, having me, but they actually required her to put in a wheelchair ramp for a coffee stand, and it really isn't feasible for someone to even work in there and really do the job. There's no way to turn around a wheelchair, for example, but yet they were required to make that ADA compliant in case they ever do hire someone
That's
in a wheelchair. That's
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think some common sense, makes sense.
That's what we love. We have so many people that are in the system politics. They're so worried about being PC, politically correct. And I've come in, I served in the military, both the Army and the Marine Corps.
Thank you.
And the last thing that we want to hear is a big snowball story. Get to the point, get it done, make it happen.
Absolutely.
In the Marine Corps, it was do as much as you can with little as possible. And that's what we need to do in our government.
Absolutely.
You're going to get X amount of dollars. If you can't meet all your obligations on that set fund, well, then you need to look at avenues to cut it. We don't need to have 15 brand new vehicles sitting in a utility yard that's just not going to do anything. If you go up and down into some of these state holding areas, they may have 6, 7 vehicles that, you know, when are they going to rotate them because they don't have enough people to drive them. So let's get rid of that. We're buying too much crap.
Yeah.
We have too many employees that are working, and half the time you can't find them. Or they're sitting there playing solitaire on government taxpayer money.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And actually, a question for you too. And I feel like I have a better where the answer might be, but I could be completely wrong. But during the recession, you hear politicians saying how the revenues are really been slashed. They have way less money than ever. And maybe that's true. But I know a lot of times they talk about a cut actually being a reduction in the increase. And it'd be interesting for me to know. And maybe you know these numbers, but in the last 7-10 years, are revenues really down, or are revenues actually in fact up, which is not as much up as they thought they would be? Which is the case? I'm just curious.
Well, most times they'll have a projection of what they want to make.
Sure.
Okay, and then they'll come back and do all this paperwork, sit there and say, okay, well, we can do it for instead of doing it for $200,000, we're going to do it for $150,000.
Sure.
We just saved $50,000 in taxpayer money. Okay? It's a crock. You already were going to be doing it for $50,000.
Exactly.
So it's just a snowball. They're trying to blow smoke out people's,
Oh, exactly.
and telling us that, it's this, and we're doing this, we're safe. No, they're not. You get X amount of dollars from taxpayers.
Yeah.
It's that way the year before, that way the year before that, and you know what it's going to be the year ahead.
Absolutely.
So work within your means. And that's a problem with our government. They don't work within their means.
Well,
they're going to sit there and tell you, this is kind of like the new memorandum that is on the ballot right now, 1351. They want to increase school budget by $4 billion. Just to reduce one student per classroom. But as you read through it, it's so they can add more administrators.
Oh, I'm sure.
We were here in the state of Washington, we've already got 800% administrators over teachers. So if you want to really do something for our school system, come back on the administrators. I mean, there was a young woman I was talking to earlier, was talking about that she had 4 or 5 people in an office, when back in the day, 2 people are doing it. And I concur with her. I see that happening all the time.
Sure.
You walk into school, you have all these administrators, and you have one teacher, of course, to a classroom. Yeah, you might have 30 students in it, sure. But get rid of the administrators. Quit feeding them $80,000 plus jobs a year.
Absolutely.
Bring in some more teachers. Get the unions out of our school systems, out of our police departments, out of our federal government, out of our state government, and let the teachers teach.
Absolutely.
Because right now you have teachers that want to teach, but with the Common Core, their hands are being tied. They have to teach based on a test module. The curriculum is not going to be there. That they need to teach a proper program. You have incidents where our history is being completely wiped out of textbooks.
I understand.
And it's a bad problem.
When I saw a weird way of doing the math that made no sense to me, I don't know if this is even true, but I've seen it floating around Facebook, and it's like, I forget what it was a simple, very simple math
Like
program.
5 plus 12.
Or something like that.
Some
And
you
they
can
had
figure out 17, but they
such
have
a weird
19 steps.
Rick, that didn't even make sense. Some of the steps, I have a weird way of looking at math, probably compared to most people. I never really learned the full times tables, but I can do 122 times 12 faster than most people because I break it down in my mind. And so I get that on some level, but this, I couldn't even make sense. I'm looking at that going, what are these steps?
Well, I don't like the 5 plus 12, you and I know instantly, 17.
Yeah.
Right? But little children, if they answer it in a 2-step process, they're wrong. It's a 19-step process. You have X amount of blocks over here. You got to click, click, click. Over here, you got another bunch of boxes. And then you got a number line. So it's just so screwed up. They're confusing children. It's confusing to adults that are sitting here at the table working with your children going, what in God's name is this?
Even when I was in school, I remember them actually penalizing me on some of mine because I did it the wrong way. And I was like, you get the right answer.
What's the difference? The shortest path of resistance.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but that's not what they want to do. It's again teaching our children that the state will take care of them. The federal government's going to take care of, and it's a socialist communist method. If you ever read Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, take the time and read that. And I would encourage your readers, your viewers here to get the book Rules for Radicals and read it, and you're gonna be enlightened to exactly what's going on in this country. And then once you finish reading Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, go get Mark Levin's book Liberty and Tyranny. Then you get what the Communist Socialist Manifesto is about.
Sure.
And then you get to see, okay, this is actually going on in our country. And the problem we've got in Washington is that we've got Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. But why do they look so much alike? And they don't want to, because you have progressives that infiltrated the Republican side as much as the Democrats. So we can't get anything done in Washington when you have people out here saying, secure our borders, no Obamacare, no flights out of Africa, and you have high margins of, I mean, we're just talking in the 70%. And when your citizens are telling you, the elected officials, don't do that.
I know.
They don't
What kind of
listen.
arrogance is that? Yeah.
They don't
I
listen.
don't get it. Yeah.
And so we have King Obama that stands in front of the podium and he
All the
reads,
czars.
with the czars. So with all the czars, I mean, when the czars first came, I was like, czars? I mean, I didn't hear that since the 1980s when it was stationed in Germany. We had to worry about the wall and Russia coming, within 7 days to the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. So czar is, that's another communist type term. It's kind of like moving forward. Let's move forward. That's another progressive saying that they like to use. So I prefer to say, let's move ahead. Let's get the job done.
I like that.
Instead of moving forward. I don't want to give into this progressive notion, because in the 60s, when I went through school systems and through college, the things that are being taught now I'm like, whoa, we've got the wrong people teaching our kids, and we got parents sitting back and allowing this to take place because they're not aware. They put their kids on the school bus, send them off, way, goodbye, and now the school system has control of them for 8 hours of their day.
And the problem is, I feel like it's all intertwined. Though, how does it get flipped around? You think about it, the media really feels like they're a progressive organization.
They are.
That's what people watch and trust. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess the answer is electing more people like you.
Back in the 70s, when you had ABC, CBS, NBC, you pretty much had the 4 stations, and you might have had a Fox, not a Fox, but some offshoot affiliate running some on the FM side of television.
Sure.
But they had a captive audience. They're going to tell you exactly what they want you to hear.
Absolutely.
And the thing that we have today with the amount of technology is we have the internet. So you might smoke screen this on TV, but we're going to see another 1,000 times the same story with different angles on it. And then when you have talk radio, it's gone as well as has the whole
Obama wants
last 10
to
years.
kill that.
Oh yeah, there was a point they wanted to stick the FCC official in the same room as a radio station, which that's more communist type style than control. We've got a DOJ, Eric Holder, which just recently said he's going to resign from his position. But what is the purpose? I mean, nothing is done with that group, those progressives, without an initiative. The ideal is if in November 4th, the Republicans take control of the Senate, what is it? He can appoint Holder as a Supreme Justice, in a lame duck session. So his agenda, the progressive agenda, still gets moved along. Where our House and Senate, even if they take the Senate, it's too late. So
I think part of the issue here too, I see today, more than ever, it seems I run into people that really are uninformed. More people go for the person they like, which I think goes well for you. I think you're very likable and good on camera, which I think probably helps. But I think a lot of times, it seems like the Democrat has the most. I'll admit, Obama versus Romney. If I was going to go to a basketball game with somebody and hang out with him for the night and do nothing about him politically, Obama would be the guy.
Well, that's
that's a pretty fun guy.
From your experience in on news,
True.
and from what mainstream media is kind of pumped out there. But if the man can't read a teleprompter,
True.
Can't
Good point.
spell respect.
That's a good point.
May not be the guy you want to be
It
hanging
may
out
not
with.
be as good as I
That's
think.
right.
Yeah, it's a good
And
point.
and with the issues of picking his nose every time he sits on the screen, all the flies all around,
Yeah, good
he might
point.
not be the guy you want to really hang out because maybe there's some
Yeah.
hygiene issues there.
But I'll
So-
never forget when Clinton was running for his second term. I didn't think he'd win a second term versus Celeste.
No.
Why would I have a beer?
Again, look
Clippers
at
actually told me. I was like, whoa.
well, you look at all the now it's coming about all of the voting scams have been taken across the United States, like the young lady in Cincinnati that went out and voted 6 times, and then you got the folks in Massachusetts that dropped out of Connecticut and are out there voting. So voter fraud. If you got one person who does it 6 times, 10,000, you get 10,000 people to do it 6 times. That's a lot of changes. I mean, when a lot of people thought Romney had it, they thought that Romney's going to take this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and would we be in that? The question is, would we be where we're at today if Romney had won? Because he's a progressive.
As I say, he didn't excite me either. Progressive
But
light.
He was a businessman.
And that at
And he
least
knew how
was a
business
positive.
needed to be run. And
I think
There's
he has
nothing-
a moral compass, which I'm not sure the guy that's in office today has that. So.
he's business oriented. Things would have gotten done in a business manner.
Yeah.
And Mr. Romney has a lot of organizations, and things get done. There are things that Romneys have done as far as donations for jets. It's kind of like the. I don't know if you're familiar with the children that are being enslaved and being taken. There's an organization that has gone out and they go into these countries and they rescue children that are enslaved. And the Romneys donated 2 planes on this last incident took place down south. And Romneys donated 2 planes to bring those children out.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
And that's pretty neat.
I really
And people can say bad things about Mr. Romney, but they're good people.
Oh,
When you look at the bottom line of who they are and what they do and the charities that they give to and the money that they give,
absolutely.
that's awesome. You take Obama's, you take Eric Holder, you take Joe Biden. Look at what they donate.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
donate less than what my yearly salary is,
Absolutely.
which is pathetic.
Only donation they're interested in is the
Donations they receive from.
yeah, that's even better. I was gonna say the additional money they can get out of the rich, the wealthiest.
And then one of the things I have a problem with donations with Obama's is he's still running around doing campaigns, flying around Air Force One, using security on what the taxpayers done.
Absolutely.
If you're going to go out there and do politics and fly around campaign, do it on your own dime. I have to.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have to. My opponent's already gotten over $169,000 in contributions from corporations. He's getting endorsements from the NRA just because he's an incumbent. Where the NRA won't support somebody who was in the military that supports gun rights, the Second Amendment. You send off a letter, explain to. Oh wow. Yeah, well, go sit down. It'll come out and watch. It's okay. So, but you got these organizations that support incumbents. They don't look at the candidates. I'll go out and fill all the candidate forms. All the candidates do,
Wow.
but the incumbents are getting endorsed.
Are they hedging their bet essentially? They come
You go on, you'll sit, do a 2-3 minute interview, and then you leave.
interesting.
When you already know before you get there that they're going to be supporting the incumbent. And that's the same thing with NRA, Farm Bureau. These are what
I
they
ran into
do.
that with the Daily News. I was running for, it was a really small race, but at the time I lived in Woodland, I ran for the city council. We went down for this debate forum where they wanted to talk to all of us. And within the first question or two, it became very obvious to me they had already decided
That's
they
right.
wanted to endorse, but they wanted it to look like they actually
We're
had a
doing something.
process. Yeah.
So
it
the
was interesting.
realism in that, it's fake.
Yeah.
It's flawed. And I know going into these things.
Yeah.
So if you truly are sincere about wanting to get to know me and my issues and are truly concerned about our country, then you'll listen. You'll have an ear for it.
Sure.
And I can tell those that have an ear for what our country needs and where we're at as a society, then those are just, this is just part of a mechanism, the link in the chain, we're going to move it along. It's kind of like the railroad car, and all you're doing, you're sitting watching it, waiting for the final train to come through so you can
I
cross.
think it's frightening where our country is and where it's heading. And again, I mean, it's weird. In some ways, it's easier. I'm going to be honest with our listeners and yourself. It's easier for me to interview someone I disagree with in some ways because I can be just kind of like, well, that's interesting. Yeah, some people think that way. And I can just kind of, when I agree with them, like, oh, I want to jump into that too. That's really good. But anyway, because it's not really about me, it's about you. You're the one running for office. But I have to say, I'm excited about a lot of what I'm hearing so far, and that's pretty cool.
Again, I'm a citizen politician. That's what the framers of our country wanted. Citizens to step up, do the job. Prior to 1901, citizens stepped up and did the job. They did it one term. If they had to do it a second term, it's because they couldn't find anybody during that course. So the guy would come back and do a second term. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what the intent was of our framers. We have dual representations in our states. We have state House members, state Senate members. We have U.S. House. We have U.S. Senate. We don't need dual representation. There's a thing called states convention, where the states form together and they have a convention on our Constitution. And if we don't like what's going on in Washington, the states can take control of that and get things back to where it's supposed to be. It's kind of like the healthcare. They could have had healthcare to where it could be sold across state lines. How easy would that be?
Wow.
You know, what an easy concept. You know, we already got Farm Bureau, our
Free
farm
market
state.
society. That would be an interesting
Exactly.
concept. I've heard of a country that once did it that way.
Yeah, that was the United States.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
Right.
I knew. Yeah,
United States of America. I mean, it was that way. But when you buy a car, like I can run down to Oregon and buy a car.
Exactly.
I come back, I'm gonna pay the tax here. Sure. So why can't I go to Oregon and buy my health insurance there? Because there's an agent down there that's offering a great deal. But no, everybody's gonna be on this state-run, federal-run. Eventually, it's gonna be to a single-payer program, and then you won't have any second. Then we're gonna be like Canada. They're gonna look at me and say, okay, well, you're 55, what do you contribute to this society now? Oh, you broke your leg. Well, I don't know if we want to set that. You might not be good. Or better yet, what if I had a heart attack and I'm at 70? And well, we're just going to send you home with some pills. Remember, Obama said that to a lady in an interview. Well, what if my mother gets sick? And he said, well, we'll just, you know, he couldn't answer. She's, too bad, so sad. We're just going to give her some pills and send her on home. Make her feel better. It's going to be harsh when your parents, my friends are laying in a hospital and you can't get the government to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the thing is the progressive movement, I think, is well organized and they're smart in that they understand you can't go from here to here. You've got to, ask for here, and then when you settle for this, you settled and you look like somebody that really helped out, and so now you're here, and the next time you come out here, then you settle for here.
That gets
and
me
then
back
the
to-
crazy is now the norm.
Well, you get back to rules for radicals. Zelensky, that was his thing. I'm going to present an option to you today. Tomorrow, if you don't accept it, I'll kill you on Monday. So he's already telling you that you don't accept the way he wants things done. He's going to take you out on Monday, regardless.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You want to lockstep and fall in line.
Absolutely.
Because he learned from the mob, the Capone family. So that's the Zelensky way. So when you look deep into Obama and Hillary Clinton, they were mentored by the same individual. So people are going, oh, Hillary, yeah. No, we don't want a Hillary. We don't want a Hillary that says her mentors are Chairman Mao, Stalin, Che. I mean, you got people down in California running around with Che on their T-shirt. They have no clue that Che was an assassin for Fidel Castro. And when Fidel Castro got tired of Che, he had it taken out. So, and Mao took out over 80 million people.
Our only chance